Well, hello there, Tyson. How are you?
I am well. How are you travelling? We're back to online this week.
We're back to online.
We're just trying something out. Sadly,
Exactly.
not as exciting as previous onlines, but we're making do with the technology that is at our fingertips. It is not it's not COVID related though that we've decided to split up. It was simply life related.
It's life related, and that's fine too.
That's also
It doesn't
fine.
always have to be COVID related.
Exactly. We're not we're not going even though times are tough again, Nicholas.
Times are tough. There's some hot spots in Melbourne. Well, that's nothing compared to if you are in the States and you are listening to our podcast. Good Lord, stay home, and I hope you guys are well and staying safe.
That's it. Please do stay home. Stay away from it all.
My goodness.
Yeah,
you guys are having a bit of a hard time.
We've said it before. We'll say it again. We are still very lucky to be where we're at. Even if we've had a little bit of a downturn, but we're here to talk about some fucking cool movies, as always.
Exactly. Let's
Nick,
get you out of that funk.
It's episode number 142 of Tys and Videotape.
142? I thought you said 143.
I meant to say 143. You are correct.
Right.
It's episode number 143 of Tys and Videotape.
143!
So we're closing in on that big 150.
We are. We're taking requests.
We are taking requests for 150.
Yeah.
But before we do any of that, Nick, why don't you tell the people where they can find our show, huh?
Oh, yeah, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. If you do like our show and what you hear, or have you listened to a couple of episodes, you're like, yeah, these guys are okay. Well, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't take much. Doesn't cost you a thing either. Doesn't cost you a thing. Other than that...
It's a good selling point. It is free.
It's a good selling point. Literally doesn't cost you a thing. Push that button. Who knows what might happen.
We have nearly 300 hours of content, and it's all free.
Exactly. Tyson and I might get ourselves a Netflix special. Who knows? But if you do like it, please like, subscribe, rate, review, all of those things. We would love it so much. Other than that, we are on all the social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are on YouTube as well, and also big fans of the Letterboxd app. If you do want to see what Tyson and myself rated the movie we're about to talk about, you're going to have to jump on Letterboxd because we don't talk about it in the episode. We don't. It is out of 5. We're not gonna tell you. You're gonna have to jump on Letterboxd. So if you want to follow Tyson is TYS_videotape, and I am Nick, NIC_videotape.
That is correct. Hey Nick, should we talk some trailers?
Let's talk trailers.
Nice.
Everybody's talking trailers.
Very good. So Nicholas, we got our first official YouTube copyright strike. Just putting it out there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Nice.
We actually did.
What did we get? For what?
Do you know what it was for? Someone finally cottoned on to Harry Nilsson's Everybody's Talking.
Oh, everybody's talking trailers.
It's only taken them 142 episodes, but they finally went, hey, this ain't your song, guys.
Hey, this is not your song. And we were like, hey, guess what? Yeah? What are you going to
do about it? Well, here's the thing, because we don't make a single piece of, a single bit of coin out of it, we're just going to keep on doing it.
We're just going to keep on doing it.
But I thought that was pretty exciting.
Trailers. We've got Ava. We've got a couple of trailers, Tyson.
Yeah, a couple kind of middle of the road worth talking about, maybe.
Kind of oddballs. Yeah. Shall we? Let's do Waiting for Barbarians first.
All right, let's do that.
Are you familiar with these parts of the frontier?
Not with this part. Not yet.
There is an episode of hysteria about the barbarians.
I have orders to obey. I am speaking of particular situations where I am probing for the truth. Since all is not well here, I expect further measures will be taken.
Colonel Trolls are conducting operations to correct the situation that you've allowed to develop.
What did they do to you? Do you want me to take you back to your family? The barbarians whom you are chasing. This is their land. They know every inch of it. You do not. Did you really say that there will be a great war against the Empire?
Pain is truth. That is how you get it. You have no idea how tiresome your behavior is.
You are an obscene torture.
We have set procedures. We're ready to go.
You've been treasonously consorting with the enemy.
Get out! I want these people out of here!
We will end these troubles. We will put down the enemy. And that will be the end of it.
Alrighty. So, Nicholas.
So, Waiting for Barbarians.
Yeah, an interesting looking film. I wasn't aware of the director until I looked it up. Directed the Oscar-nominated Embrace of the Serpent from 2015, I think.
Oh, wow.
Which was a foreign language film that was nominated for Best Foreign Language. I always saw the cover and was like, man, this looks really cool and I'd love to watch this, and never did.
Yep. Right.
But
shame on you.
Yep, shame on me. But this, it reminds me a ton of the cover for a movie I have seen called The Deadlands, and I think I used to get them kind of mixed up in my head.
Okay.
Whereas I think Embrace of the Serpent is a much more of a drama. The Deadlands was like a kind of like a Apocalypto-style action thriller, which I definitely recommend. That's well worth watching. I think they turned it into a TV series. But anyway, I digress. We now have, Waiting for the Barbarians, which has Johnny Depp in full crazy mode.
Yeah.
He's doing a thing.
He's doing a Gestapo thing, sort of thing.
Big time.
This says that this movie came out in 2019.
Yeah, I saw that. I would assume it's probably festival related. It does have a pretty full slate of reviews already, and they don't seem to be awful. I think we're talking pretty comfortable middle of the road territory here, but it's now getting a proper release, worldwide release later this year. Look, to be honest, it's a strange it's that strange middle ground movie that I think, unless I got told by, a few different people that it's well worth watching, I can't imagine I'd give it a crack.
Then you'd watch it.
Yeah.
No, me neither. I'm kind of in the same boat. I do like it. I know that a lot of people have, there's two sides of the coin to Johnny Depp. A lot of people are, well, no, he can't really act. He just does the same Jack Sparrow thing all the time.
Yeah.
Others kind of go, no. If you have looked at his body of work, he can act. It's just he's gotten comfortable. But this is, I kind of back him. I don't mind Johnny Depp. His personal life aside, it's got nothing to do with me. I like Johnny Depp. I think he can bring it when he wants to, but he plays it safe most of the time because it lets him buy small islands when he does a Jack Sparrow.
I agree. I think for a little passage of time there, he was really interested in the work, and then that kind of faded away. But the thing about it is even... I feel bad saying that because even his movies where I don't think he's very good and the movies themselves haven't turned out very good, they're not really run-of-the-mill choices, though. Like, his choices are always...
No, they're not.
...are always pretty extreme. Like, it just doesn't turn out to be good movies. Even things even things that seem like they're going to be home runs. Like, if you had said Johnny Depp is going to play John Dillinger in a Michael Mann film... I'm buying my ticket.
I'm there day one.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
that movie sucked.
And that turned out to be really disappointing. Yeah. And like even something like, which is less but still kind of fun, is like the Dark Shadows adaptation. I think when that gets brought up as a possibility and Johnny Depp is going to play the lead in it, you're kind of like, oh, this could be really interesting. And unfortunately, it's only just okay. Exactly. So yeah, while I totally agree with what you're saying. I don't know if it's the choices so much, but definitely his performances have gone south.
Did you see Black Mass, 2015's Black Mass?
No, I did not, because
Whitey
it was the same thing. I just heard real kind of mixed things about it, where it was like, you know what? Johnny Depp's doing something and he's trying real hard, but it's not really working. And so... I
didn't mind it. I saw it. I didn't mind it, but it's not memorable. I could not tell you a thing about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's not great.
Yeah, and that's never a good sign. I hated... I can't even remember the fucking name of it. Transference?
Oh, no. Close. Transcendence?
Transcendence. Thank you. Because that was kind of another thing where it's like, okay, so it's a weird sci-fi thriller directed by Christopher Nolan's DP. You're like, okay, I'm in. That movie
could be interesting.
Garbage.
Did you see that?
I did see that, and so I don't know if it's
really?
necessarily his fault. I think he's still choosing interesting projects. They're just turning out to be not very good movies. And I feel like, well, this could be interesting. I feel like, do you know who I feel like is a good barometer of quality at the moment?
Sure.
Robert Pattinson.
Really?
I reckon he does not do bad movies anymore.
Really? Because truth be told, I haven't seen anything with Robert Pattinson in it.
Well, there you go.
I believe. Let me double check. And because of what's about to come up next, is it next year? Yeah, it's next year. I need to know whether he's got some chops, because I don't. Well, I've got nothing to go on. I really don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, for those of you out there, if you are listening to this, chuck it on one of the social medias. Nick, watch this. Tys, what would you tell me to watch?
I would tell you to watch.
If you think if someone's going to look at Robert Pattinson's acting, what am I watching?
I really liked Lost City of Z, but he's not the lead in that. He plays a supporting role, but he basically disappears into the role. You just do not. You forget it's him within 10 minutes. He's very good at immersing himself in it. I'm just going to see, like for instance, what about?
I got told.
Sorry, you go.
I got told Good Time is the one
I was about
to watch to know that he can act.
Well, you've got that
was the director who did
Uncut Gems.
What was the? That's the one. Yeah.
And the thing with him,
and I really rated Uncut.
Well, that's what I mean. And he was he found these guys before the world went mad for him. Like, people have gone mad for him since Uncut Gems. But the thing was, he was on board the movie before that when they were nobodies.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think he's got good quality control, if anything.
Okay.
He's about to be in Tenet as well.
He is.
What else?
I guess I'll see
The Lighthouse as well. Robert Eggers. That's a really great choice. He's worked with Cronenberg. He's I say he's pretty. He's a pretty good barometer at the moment. Obviously, once you go back to like Twilight days, not so much. But I see him in a movie now, and when he popped up in this trailer, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that. Maybe this won't be terrible.
Okay.
And we also have Mark Rylance. Do you like Mark Rylance?
I don't mind him. I haven't seen a lot with him in it.
Well, I've only seen Ready Player One, I think, because I'm still trying to. I don't know how I've never seen Bridge of Spies.
You don't need to. He was in Dunkirk for a little.
Oh, of course he was. He was great in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing. The other thing I've seen him in is Bridge of Spies, because I saw that because that was nominated, and that's the only reason I saw it. And I'd give it a big miss, Tys.
Really?
It's just a bit of meh. It's like, oh yeah, nah. You know what it's like? Do you know why? Because wasn't it the same year that was it Hacksaw Ridge? And I was like, oh, can we just get fucking over? I think because I watched Hacksaw Ridge first, and then I watched that, because I was like, well, I don't really know whether Hacksaw Ridge is going to be good, so let's do it first, get it out of the way, because if it is bad, then I've got Spielberg to kind of pick up my watching. And it was just a plateau of this is how fun is this? And I'm like, yeah, cool.
I can't imagine watching anything after Hacksaw Ridge that wouldn't lift my spirits, because I hated that movie. So
did I. I love that we hated it so much.
It wasn't even I don't understand it for 1 second. It's literally, it's one of those films where I will never, ever, ever understand the opposite opinion of it, because I watched that and I was laughing through it at how ridiculous it was, and some of the choices, some of the acting performances, and even what I thought was hideously cheap production design. And then all of a sudden it's like up for Oscars, and I'm like, hang on, sorry, I feel like I've been in a coma or something, and
so I've watched the wrong thing.
I watched the wrong movie. I watched the Asylum version of it. Called like Chainsaw Cliff, and
exactly. I watched the wrong one. Clearly, I clearly have. Yeah, I got so angry with that movie. I was like, how is this? Because I was watching it because it was nominated. I was like, this midway through. I was like, this is what the bar is. This is where we're setting the bar.
Oh, that is a low bar. He got nominated for Best Director, didn't he?
Fucking bar. Oh, fuck off. Seriously?
I think he did. That's outrageous. Anyway. What's this movie called? Something about barbarians. Waiting for the barbarians.
The Waiting of the Barbarians.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't really see any barbarians, though, Tyson.
No, very briefly. But so it seems like it's a kind of like an adventure film where I don't know much about this era, to be honest. I was trying, like, I think in my head I was kind of like, I don't really, like, I don't know what empire it is. I don't know what a magistrate is. It's kind of really a real hole in my history knowledge, which is already not fantastic, to be honest. If there was, so it's set in the 19th century in an Asian frontier post. So so we're talking a period of time that I'm just really not familiar with. So there might be some, this is the kind of movie that I think one day I would just, if I see it pop up on Stan, and because it's not that long either, which I'm like, that's a tick in that column. So
that's what it's got going for it.
Yeah, this thing's under 2 hours. And if that performance from Johnny Depp is kind of, if I start to hear that it's a bit wild and maybe it's worth seeing, then I might get on board.
Yeah, he looks menacing. He looks menacing as hell.
He does, but I feel like he can potentially do that. I've never thought. I always think that he could do more. He should do more villainous things. I feel like it comes pretty naturally to him.
What did Mark Rylance win his Oscar for?
Bridge of Spies.
Oh, fuck off. Really?
He won Best Supporting Actor for Bridge of Spies.
Actually, he was quite good. I'll give it that. It's just it was a tad boring for me. I was just like, I get it. Yeah.
For some reason, it's a movie that I really want to watch. Like, I've been waiting for it to pop up on one of the streaming services because I'm really keen to see it. And for some reason, it just hasn't popped up on them. Who knows?
Okay. Cool.
Should we move on, Nicholas?
Yeah, let's move on, Tyson. Let's watch. Let's talk about Ava.
All right, let's do that.
Monsieur Hamilton?
You like what you see?
Peter, why would someone not want you to be alive anymore?
What are you talking about?
Code 8227.
Confirmed. Subject's closed.
I know you like Ava, but she's a liability.
No, not her. She's best of breed. I recruited her. I trained her.
She's talking to the target!
Ava.
I'm good. Promise you.
Keep your head down, kiddo. Management will be watching on this one.
You did something bad. I wouldn't have sent me if you had. Who was responsible?
Company had nothing to do with it.
You don't believe that, Duke?
You keep breaking protocol.
I asked you to marry me, and then you just disappeared for 8 years.
She's always been Duke's favorite, but she's a loose cannon and a danger to the organization. I want her killed. Tell him tooth or finger, I don't care which.
I warned you. I'm not going to be able to protect you a second time. You need to rescind the kill order.
You know I can't do that. This is business.
Lovely morning for it, Ava. Security around my family on high alert.
I like it when we don't have much to say about the movie, but we just have a nice general conversation about the people that are in it.
It's a nice talk.
Yeah, it's just like we're hanging out, having a beer and having a chat about actors we like.
Exactly.
Speaking of actors
we're
we
not going
like,
deep into the trailer that we just watched. We're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of actors, go for it.
Well, speaking of actors we like, this one's
Chastain.
This one's full to the brim. I love Chastain. I love Colin Farrell.
I love Chastain.
Everyone loves a bit of Malkovich.
I love Colin Farrell.
Malkovich.
Then you've got Gina Davis as well.
I did not see Gina Davis.
You've got Common, I
love Common.
I know. Common is quite good. I like him. Who else was there? There was someone else in there. What's his name? I don't know how to say his name. Fantastic Four.
Oh, Ian Grufford.
Yeah, him. That's him.
Yeah,
yep, let's
Ian spelled like the most ridiculous name. Is that his name?
Lion or something. Yeah. Loan.
No, it's IOAN, isn't it? Yeah, it's not an L.
I'm kidding. It's IOAN.
And I think it's Ian, but like the weirdest spelling ever.
And he was a weird Reed Richards. Anyway,
he wasn't great.
Tyson, in watching Ava, the trailer, I feel like we've seen this before, Tys. It's nothing that we haven't seen before.
Well, it's Jessica Chastain's turn to go
to do the atomic blonde thing. Is that
the atomic blonde?
Do the salt. To do the
So we've had So Angelina Jolie's had a go.
Salt. Yep.
Charlize Theron's had a go. Bridget Fonda. Yeah, the assassin.
Bridget Fonda. Yeah, the assassin.
I don't reckon that movie's any good.
I reckon
if we watch that movie, it'd be garbage. The Brave one, we had.
I only liked it. The Brave one.
Jodie Foster had a go.
It's all training and you get no mission. Hannah.
Oh, I loved Hannah.
Hannah's a good one.
Hannah was great.
Hannah was really good
because that was Joe Wright. That was a very good movie.
Very good writing.
Jennifer Garner had a crack on that Peppermint movie.
Oh, yep. There you go. Yeah. There's one.
And so you don't even. It's not even just the girls. The guys have all had a crack too, because there was that Sean Penn one called The Gunman. I mean, obviously it's all based around the success of Taken and John Wick.
Yep.
That basically now every actor gets their chance to be in like an assassin for hire action movie with badass fight choreography.
That's true.
Yeah, Sean Penn had a crack. Ethan Hawke had a go. One where he's like his heart was going to stop or some shit.
Yeah. Everyone's had a go. Denzel's had a go.
Denzel's had a bunch of goes, but Denzel. He's good at that though.
He has. He is really good. Do you know what's funny? It's a little bit of a kind of a guilty pleasure, maybe, that how much I like the Equalizer, the first Equalizer.
Yeah, I like it
a little too much. I think
that's fine. Because it's my favorite thing in the world. It turns into a Home Alone movie at the end.
It really does.
Home Alone in a hardware store. Did you try to watch the second one? I turned it off.
No, I haven't yet. Really?
I was like. I don't even think I made it like half an hour in. I did that thing where I checked the time to see, and I was like, surely this has been going for an hour, and it had been going for like 25 minutes, and I was like, I'm out. That's it.
Shit, that's a hard no.
Yeah.
You're not even sitting in it. Really?
No, I struggled. And look, I might have been distracted by other things, but that's why I was asking if you'd seen it, to see if I was maybe just having a bad day.
It's definitely on my list. I will give it a watch.
All right, nice.
But Ava, Tyson.
Yes, Ava.
We now it's really sad that we have seen this before. Doesn't matter. Still could be good. I like this. But the fact that it said, what did it say? It said did it say the director from The Girl on the Train?
Well, it's Tate Taylor who directed The Help and Girl on the Train and Ma. Did you see Ma, that horror movie with
I've seen
Octavia Spencer?
Haven't seen it. But the trailer, I've seen the trailer.
I've seen the trailer too.
But the thing is, for the fact that it came out with that, I really disliked Girl on the Train. I thought it was really weak.
I didn't watch it.
In saying that, though, The Help was very good.
Yeah, right.
So he knows how to do drama, but action thriller on the other side, which is kind of where this is landing, pardon me, isn't not his strong suit.
Maybe not. The choreography, for what I've seen of it in the trailer, looks pretty solid. Like it's doing exactly what all those movies do. It's like cool hand-to-hand combat, hopefully well choreographed, so that they don't have to cut around it erratically like like a Bourne movie. And I like Jessica Chastain can carry we know that she can carry a movie, no stress. Like she's incredibly great as a front woman for a film. I think the ingredients are all here for a really fun time, but you could have said the same for Atomic Blonde, and apparently that's not very good.
Man, I was really looking forward to Atomic Blonde. I really was. It was really big, a really mass disappointment.
Yeah,
I do like that she kind of has Malkovich in her corner, though. That's kind of cool how he's kind of backing for her, and making sure that she's, being looked after and things like that. I do like that. And then when Malkovich and Colin Farrell, get it on, I was like, yes, Malkovich.
I was in my head. I was chance. Like, the fight we've all been waiting for. It's like blockbuster Saturday night fights. John Malkovich versus Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, absolutely.
Yeah, but I like a bit of Malkovich. It's I'd like to see. He's the kind of guy that has never really has he done action movies before, like legit action movies. Con Air.
Yeah, he did. No,
of course he did. What am I talking about? He did Con Air.
He did those Red movies. Those old people.
Oh, of course.
Assassins.
Those old people still shooting up shit.
Still shooting things.
Yeah.
And everyone.
No, I take it back. He was Cyrus the Virus.
Gosh.
I mean, what am I saying?
He was Cyrus. Yeah, man.
I don't know. Just a side
does
note.
a lot of things.
Oh, he does. He'll give everything a go.
He'll give anything a go.
In Con Air, though, Cyrus provides no physical threat, does he? You don't watch that movie and go, "Oh, I can't wait for the punch-up between Nick Cage and John Malkovich." It doesn't happen, does it?
No, it doesn't. And this is a little bit of a gripe for me with Con Air is because he is billed as fucking Cyrus the Virus. He's double locked in. He's the worst thing for mankind. He's the killer of killers, and he doesn't do anything. I'm like, yeah, great. He has the idea to do whatever with the Con Air plane, but at the end of the day, I was like, dude, I'm more scared of. Exactly. I'm more scared of Steve Buscemi, who's playing in the sandpit with a little girl, and that scares the shit out of me.
You're not wrong. What's the deal with him getting away with it in that movie? That's not cool.
Oh, I don't mind. It's Steve Buscemi. He's totally good.
Oh, he sounds like a fair creep, though.
A massive creep. He's going to kill that little girl, and that's fine.
No, don't you see that? It's like that shot that they show when it flies off and she waves at the plane, so it's like, oh, good. He didn't, kill and eat that young child. Thank God for that.
That's true, but she doesn't have a tongue anymore. So.
She waves and she's missing 3 fingers. Goodbye. Yes.
She has stumps. She just has stumps for legs. She doesn't have any legs left. Oh no! Oh no! See, this is the kind of
This is taking a turn.
This is the Con Air. This is the Con Air I want to see. Oh damn it!
So what else about this movie? I'm excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see all the punch-ups. It's funny that when I was watching that, I realized in my head that there are certain actors that I get excited about seeing fighting each other.
Really?
And not necessarily
really?
Obviously it's you sit down to watch Expendables 2 and you're like, Stallone and Van Damme are going to have a fight.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that. I mean, really dumb matchups, like Colin Farrell and John Malkovich. That never occurred to me. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that. I'll watch that.
I would love to see that. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why, what is the prison movie with Schwarzenegger and Stallone?
Escape Plan.
That's why that was so interesting, because you're like, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
What have you done?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I've done something.
That's all right. No, you sound
good. And that's why that was so interesting, because you were like, oh my God, we're finally going to get them to see them fight, because even though they're friends, you're going to see a punch on.
Yeah, it was
kind of
like, it was a fake punch on though. They were kind of pulling punches.
Oh, man, Stallone versus Schwarzenegger. It's one for the ages.
It is.
It's like that Stallone Rocky Balboa versus Raging Bull. What was it? Jake thing?
Grudge match.
What was that movie? Grudge match.
Yeah. Except, for me, Robert De Niro's never exactly been an action hero, so there's nothing.
No,
I don't really want to see Robert De Niro in a punch-up with anybody. I'm kind of okay.
Yeah.
I'll just watch Raging Bull if I need to see that.
Yeah, exactly. All good fellas. He beats the shit out of people in that.
Or what's that random movie where he's... No, that's not him. I was thinking of...
Showtime? Is it Showtime?
Does him and Eddie Murphy have a punch-up in that? They probably do. Probably like a... one of those, I'm really frustrated at you.
No, slap and tickle. It's a push-up against the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Because he's like a grumpy cop, and Eddie Murphy's all like, hey, man,
Exactly.
I'm an actor, and I want to know what it's about. And
I'm going to be an actor,
He gets pushed up against...
So
Yeah.
good.
I say that. That scene is, playing out in my head right now. I've never seen that movie,
Exactly.
but I can almost put $100 that scene will be in this movie.
I think I've seen that movie, unfortunately. That's a sad day. Jesus, could have done anything
Do you know what we
else.
didn't mention in the Twin movies special?
Oh, yeah?
Because aren't they the same thing? Showtime and Hollywood Homicide? Are they the same movie?
That's true. They are the same movie. That's correct. We didn't talk about that.
That's true. That seems like an oversight.
Is there another one there? I feel like there's another one. Oh. The Hard Way. The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox and John Woods. Same movie.
Same movie, you're right.
Same movie. I watched that recently. I watched that at the start of this year because I wanted to rewatch it. I was like,
I remember you talking about it. Is that? But hang on, is Hollywood Homicide? Are they? They're both cops though. Not one of them's not an actor, is it?
I think they're both cops. Why is it Hollywood though?
Well, this is the question.
You're Googling it, aren't you? You're Googling it.
I'm the first person to Google Hollywood Homicide in 20 years, I reckon.
I think you are.
So, two LAPD detectives who moonlight in other fields investigate the murder of an up-and-coming rap group. So, by moonlight in other fields, I'm assuming they mean that they're like part-time actors. All right. Well, there you go. You ever going to watch that movie?
I unfortunately, for starters, I've seen it. And secondly, I will never watch that movie again. No, it's a hard pass. Ron Shelton, really?
Yeah, I like Ron Shelton. I did not know that was a Ron Shelton movie.
You do like Ron Shelton, don't you?
Well, he's mastered the art of sports movies. He's probably the king of sports movies.
He goes hand in hand with your man K-Cost.
He does. He loves a bit of K-Cost.
He likes a bit of K-Cost. Tyson.
Yes. We finished with Ava?
Let's move on.
All right, time for a feature prez.
Feature prez.
And now for our feature presentation.
Thomas Ripley lived a solitary life until a wealthy man offered him an extraordinary opportunity.
Did you ever conceive of going to Italy? I'd pay you to persuade my son to come home.
Dickie Greenleaf? It's Tom Ripley. We were at Princeton together.
How do you do?
You're so white. Did you ever see a guy so white, Marge?
You know, you should come and have lunch with us.
Now, he's in a world he always dreamed of.
No, I like him.
Marge, you like everybody. Marge, you like everybody.
If you're not home by 7 o'clock, Tom and I are running off together.
With people he always admired.
Can't sail, can't swim. Did you ever know such low class?
Oh, yes, poor Tom.
Living the life
Why is it when men play, they always play at killing each other?
he always wanted.
You stay at Dickie's house, eat Dickie's food, and his father picks up the tab.
And now that he has it,
Could hardly expect this to go on forever, Tom. You've had a great run, though. What?
he'll do anything to keep it.
I've never been happier. I feel like I've been handed a new life.
I'm Meredith, by the way.
Dickie Greenleaf. Hello, Marge.
Where's Dickie?
The guy just disappeared off the face of the earth.
He hasn't called. He's hardly written. You don't just dump people.
Something's going on.
Do you have something you'd like to say?
I think I'm saying it.
I bumped into Dickie last week.
Dickie?
This is a secret. It's a secret between us.
I know it was it. I know it's you.
Whenever Dickie does something, I feel guilty.
I know about you.
Well, you get the reward. I always thought it would be better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody.
I don't believe a single word you've said.
You're shivering, Marge. Can I hold you? Well, whatever you do, however terrible, however hurtful, nobody thinks that they're a bad person.
Well, here we are, Nicholas. So,
Tyson,
it's time to read out
what happened.
Something. Where does it go? We are here because it's by request, Nicholas. By request.
Oh, that's right.
And just to recap, in case she didn't hear the end of our last episode, I thought I'd just reread the email for Seville, a good fan of the show who has been supporting us for a very long time, and we appreciate it absolutely, immeasurably. And,
thank you.
We really can't say thank you enough, Seville, for writing in and constantly supporting the show. Hey guys, just listened to the episode of Saturday Night Fever, and I had to email you and tell you that I felt exactly the same way about it. So, what episode was our Saturday Night Fever episode, Nick? I can't remember, but about 2 months ago, maybe?
A while ago. Yeah,
something like that. So you can go back through our feed and check out our Saturday Night Fever episode. Spoiler alert: we didn't like it.
We didn't. No. Well, we were in the dark. We hadn't seen it, and then that was episode 130.
Oh, there you go.
And it kind of shocked us a little.
It did. It appears to have shocked Seville as well. I also happened to watch it for the first time with high expectations, and I am now scarred for life after having seen the final scene in the car.
Oh,
I'm with you there. Anyway, the real reason for my email is to please request a film. I recently watched The Talented Mr. Ripley, 1999, for the first time, and I can't stop thinking about it. Would love to hear your thoughts on it if it's a movie you'd like to discuss. Love your work, guys, and thanks for the laughs. Seville, thank you again for being an incredible supporter of the show. We love your work. So here we are, Nicholas.
We do indeed. Did she say that this is one of her favourite movies?
No, she said she watched it for the first time.
A movie that she watched first time, right?
Yeah, and she couldn't stop thinking about it. And I kind of
lovely.
I think I'm with her on that. I think I
understand. I understand why.
Yeah, I completely understand. Nick, had you seen this before?
No, I hadn't. This is my first watch as well.
Cool.
So it was on my list of things to watch for ages. And Sam watched it without me one night, and now I don't have a chance to watch it. I know, right? Jeez, it's like a I'm divorced.
It's like she's her own person.
Exactly. But she said it was really good, so I still wanted to watch it. And this was my first watch. Tys, what about you? Had you seen it before?
I had seen it before. So I watched it. Well, maybe not in '99, but I watched it not too long after that. It was a video store rental. I still remember the video cover so clearly. Because that thing rented.
Yep.
And I had very little memory of it, except one scene I had vivid memories of because I cannot shake it because I find it really, really unsettling.
Okay.
And you can probably have a stab. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, spoilers for this movie, I guess. It's a movie. It's a 21-year-old movie. It's the boat scene, yeah.
It was the boat scene?
Yeah. So I had...
Yeah, right.
That has been burned into my brain. So even when I sat down to watch it again, I was like, wow, I don't remember any of this. When it got to the boat scene and it played out almost identically to my memory of it, I was like, wow, that really made an impact.
Nice.
Yeah, but I suppose we'll get there eventually. But that's
we'll get there.
That's kind of my relationship to the movie.
That's your history with it?
Yeah, and I watched it that one time, and it's never really been something I've been eager to revisit, but...
Sure.
I think it was nice to have an excuse, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, cool.
It's not, if someone said, do you want to watch Talented Mr. Ripley? It's not something you go, oh, nah, no, I don't really feel like it. It's something like, you go, yeah, sure, let's watch that.
If someone was really keen to watch this movie and was like, and I just happened to be there, it's a perfect way to sit down and go, yeah, cool. I don't think I'd ever choose to put this movie on, though, again.
Yeah.
It's just, so this was a kind of a really nice opportunity to revisit it because I like... a lot of these movies that I say that I've seen, and you might be similar, we're talking all like 20 years ago now, Nick. So, like, we can't, as much as we can say, yeah, I've seen that, do we really have any kind of critical opinion of it, something that we watched 20 years ago and we haven't seen since?
So this is going to, because you've brought this up, when someone says to me, have you seen The Godfather? I say no. The thing is, though, Tyson, I have seen The Godfather.
Right.
I've seen 1 and 2, both of them.
Yes.
Right? But I don't remember shit because I was 20 and I was like, well, this is The Godfather. I have to watch this, And it was that long and I was so preoccupied with parties and going out and finding a girlfriend. I don't remember shit. I don't remember anything. So whenever someone says to me, have you seen The Godfather? I say no. I say, you know what? No, because I can't remember any of it.
This is the thing. That's really funny because not only do I share that sentiment, I share the sentiment with that movie. I have a very similar experience. That is one of those movies that people ask and I say no, and I get a bit of shit for it, and that's fine. But the fact is, I've seen 3/4 of that movie, and I fell asleep.
Yeah,
and I woke up and the credits were rolling. This is when I was early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s. Fell asleep, credits were rolling, and was like, oh, do I go back and try and find where I was up to? And in my head, I was kind of like, but I don't even remember, the last 20 minutes of a movie that I watched. And I'm like, well, I have to go back and start from the start. And as soon as that thought came over me, I was like, well, I'm not doing that. And so I've never seen The Godfather, which is ridiculous.
Exactly. I know, it is really stupid.
It's funny that it's the same movie, though, Nick. That does crack me up. But Talented Mr. Ripley, how was your watch, Nick? You tell me. What did you think?
I really enjoyed this. I really did. I love that it was set in the 50s. I was a big fan of that. I love that because this movie couldn't be done in today. Like if a modern Talented Mr. Ripley happened, it couldn't happen. Tom Ripley wouldn't get away with it. There's just too many things that he would be caught out with.
No, you're right. This movie has to exist in a time before social media, before phones, before any kind of technology exists.
Before cameras.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
before
Well, because his whole scheme relies on the fact that he won't run into somebody, and unfortunately he does run into somebody multiple times, and that's his undoing.
Exactly. Yeah. And he goes into the bank and pretends to be, Freddy, and banks have cameras now. Like, it just doesn't exist. But what I did love about this is the magic of everyone like watching this movie, and I can see the draw to it is that the magic and kind of fantasy of living the billionaire lifestyle in Italy or Rome, and you get that throughout this movie, and you can see why. Kind of, I don't know. It's so funny. Like throughout the movie, was I on his side? Did I see his point of view? And then he's getting to the point where it's just he's going downhill fast, and he just can't get up.
Did you have any idea what this movie was about?
I was a big fan.
Nick, before you sat down and watched it?
A little bit. I knew that he. I knew someone died. I didn't know who.
Yep.
I thought it was Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, and I guess I was right about that. I just didn't know that
exactly.
Jude died. But I thought that it was more, and it is more so. I thought it was more of a love story. I thought it was more he was in love with Jude Law's character.
Sure.
And
which you're not wrong. That's 100% what's happening.
I'm not wrong there. Absolutely. Yeah. But I didn't know how much and the obsession and the vastness of what he goes into. I didn't know any of that. Like
it's a really I wasn't even thinking about it while I was watching it, but it must be really interesting for somebody who a first time watch who isn't really sure what they're getting into, because it hides its intentions incredibly well for the first hour or so. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't know any better, you could think you were just watching, not just watching. That sounds like I'm diminishing this kind of genre, but it looks like you're watching one of those kind of like a travelogue kind of love story where it's look how beautiful this country is, and these people, it's going to be a kind of forbidden love and blah 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 blah. What I find really interesting is watching, because I was watching for the second time, knowing full well that it's a movie about a sociopath, and that it becomes a really far more interesting on a second watch for me, being able to gradually watch that development of his character, whereas that first time I had no idea, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh, is he a bit creep? Oh, he's a bit of a creep. Maybe he's just a bit awkward, and they'll deal with that eventually. And it's like, oh no, shit, he just killed a dude.
Exactly. It got way out of hand, didn't it? And that's the thing. Like at the start, when you're watching it, he really did. And this was a kind of my last note, but I can say it now. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but he just took the opportunity. Tom Ripley fell into this. I don't think he had any intention of taking it this far. I think he just started lying, and the lying got easy, and it just snowballed into such a monster that he didn't realize what he was doing. But
take
it back from Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say,
take it back from the start.
I can see it from that angle, like absolutely, and I think there's an argument to be made for: is he?
Both sides.
Yeah, is he perhaps a little bit more of a victim of this, and it was just circumstance, and the ball was rolling? I tend to fall slightly on the other side and think that he was he knew what he was doing. He's a sociopath, and once the opportunity was there, it was never going to go any other way. Like, if it wasn't going to be Dickie, it was going to be somebody else eventually. Like, you know what I mean? Which
is why he jumped, like he couples together with Peter so quickly. Is that why?
I think we're totally jumping around, but that's jump to the end. Yeah, I actually think he was in love with Peter.
Really?
Yeah, I think he did really have feelings for him, because I believe him when he says stuff like, I have this dark basement,
Sure.
and I wish I could just throw the doors open to somebody, but I can't, blah, 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 blah. I believe that stuff. Doesn't mean he's any less of a sociopath.
Yeah, I believe that as well. That's so true. That's so true. But at the start, like going back to the start, when he was went to Italy and was just going to look up Dickie and tell him that his dad was it. That's all he was going to do. But the fact that he started to do jazz homework, that's when I was like, why would you need to do this? There's no reason that you would need to do this. And the fact that you're spying on him from the wherever you are, hotel room, whatever, that's the first sign of you being something that maybe we don't know just yet.
Well, yeah, because I guess before he even gets there, I mean, you let me know if you agree or not, but I think as soon as he has the gig and he sees, like, he hears about Dickie's kind of lifestyle and what is on offer, I think he kind of prepares himself for that eventuality. I think he goes there with the idea that if not taking over his life, but forcing his way into that lifestyle fraudulently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I don't think he's just doing it to be a better buddy with him. I think he's going in there knowing that it's like, well, if I know jazz and if I can, convince Dickie that I'm a Princeton guy, blah, 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 it will benefit me. He's doing it like, you know what I mean? He's not trying to go over there with the idea of actually, he doesn't care whether or not he's going to come home. He wants the money and he wants the lifestyle.
I don't think he sees that straight away. I think he gets used to it. What happens for me is that he goes over with the intention of bringing Dickie back, and then I feel that throughout him getting to know Dickie that he actually does fall in love with him. I think he does, but I think that it becomes the love for him and the lifestyle that he's living. It becomes an obsession, and then it turns into a monster of what it is, and he can't have any control over it, and it just snowballs into him killing him. Like, there's no way that someone who just wants that lifestyle kills someone in a boat and then lays down with them for what looks to be several hours. Their dead body.
I agree with you. It definitely escalates, and upon spending time with Dickie, he builds this very unhealthy infatuation. Of course, but it's more that, like, I don't. Maybe it's watching the movie again with hindsight that you don't. Yeah, right. You start to doubt all of his motives at all. Like, and not so much how he feels about Dickie, because I think that's pretty clear that he is infatuated with him. I mean, like, his reasons for being there, even in the first place, his motivations for the choices he makes. Even with Dickie, he wants to be near him, but it's not because he wants to share this great love with Dickie. I think he's infatuated with him, and he wants that for himself. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's kind of textbook sociopath, because it's all about his own gain, regardless of those around him. You know what I mean? And yes, he wants Dickie. Dickie is the goal, and Dickie's lifestyle, but he's even willing to sacrifice, like, Dickie's happiness if it gets him what he wants. And I think you can start to see the little nuggets of that at the beginning, where the way he prepares for it, because I think, even watching him interact with him initially, like, you don't buy a second of it, you know what I mean? Like, obviously it is all lies, but there's not even, like, little kind of snippets of truth sneaking in. Whenever I hear him talk, I'm just like, oh, you're manipulating the fuck out of him. Having said that,
it's all fake. It's all fake. Yeah. Everything that he says is like, you are not a real person, are you?
No, like, that's what I mean. I would love to know. I feel like we maybe see true elements of Ripley only in like fleeting moments.
The piano scene.
Yep, perfect.
The one that you talked about before. I think it's the piano scene. You see him then.
I think maybe I want to say he's.
Go on.
At the opera, when he's watching the opera.
Oh, yeah. And he prefers opera over jazz.
Yeah, and it's really...
So he was just uncomfortable at that jazz club. Like all the jazz clubs he goes to, you can tell that he's uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I can't, like, this, he has that conversation where he says, "Oh, look, I've learned to appreciate it." And I'm like, I don't know if you have. I think, I feel like that's part of your shtick now, is that you can say, I've grown to love it, but it's like you can see how much of an effect the opera music has on him when he goes and sees actual, well, in his mind, actual music. Very different. And I think also the last scene, I think that's probably... You do get to see him in that last scene. Last scene. What's the last scene, Tyson?
What's that
guy? What's the guy's great name again? The British guy's...
Peter.
Yeah.
His full name, I forget.
Oh, it's something
nice
fantastic.
Name.
Yeah.
It is. Peter Smith Kingsley.
Thank you. So I think the scene... Yeah, I think that's also...
Him?
Yeah.
I don't think that's him.
You don't reckon?
No, I don't think that's him. No, not for me. Not for me, because he has to go in because he has to go in knowing what he has to do. Even though I think that killing Peter, what was the what? I think it was too much. I think killing Peter was way too much.
Yeah, well, in my head I was doing the same thing. I was like, okay, so he's been really clever so far. He's actually been 2 steps ahead most of the time, and he's managed to, even when it's gotten like a hair away from being the wrong thing, he's managed to weave his way out of trouble. And in my head I was like, okay, so why is this the end goal? Because I don't think, you're right. I don't think he needed to. I think there were better ways.
Yeah. Because he was going to start off before seeing Cate Blanchett's character again on the boat. He was Tom Ripley, and he was going to live with Peter, and that was it. He was set. He was ready to go. Yeah. And because he saw Cate Blanchett's character, what's her name, Meredith,
yes,
her again. It's all spiraled into can't help himself.
Well, yeah, but maybe there's an ease in it now. Maybe there's that point. Maybe that's what kind of the end of the movie's trying to say, is that he's become comfortable enough with it now as a solution that.
Yeah, right.
Like, instead of trying to find the alternate solution because he's gotten away with murder twice, he now goes, oh well, I'm just gonna have to fucking kill him. And it's obviously. It's obviously. I believe that it's pretty emotionally drained. Like, it tears him apart emotionally having to do it. But I think because of the success he's had previously with murdering people, and now feels that element of kind of,
I could do whatever he wants.
Invincibility when it comes to that.
Yeah,
that's he doesn't consider other options anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. I think it's gone too far at that point.
Yeah. So but he's just embracing who he is. I don't feel. I've read some stuff where it's some people say that he's a bit of a tragic kind of character, but I don't know if I feel that way. Do you feel that way?
No, I don't see that at all. Actually,
no.
Well, if they do see it as that. The director hasn't given the audience that to see. There's no scene where you feel sorry for Tom Ripley at all. Not when he's by himself, not when you see his flat, when you first see him, and his flat is like something out of like war times. Like, he's living bare bones on nothing.
Yeah.
Like, literally nothing. Doesn't have a couch. He has barely a cot to sleep in.
Yeah, right.
And I don't feel sorry for him there. So there's no scene where the actor goes, let's show empathy. Let's show the audience empathy for this character. You don't get that.
I don't get it. I'm wondering if there are.
Very conniving.
I wonder if there are attempts to do that though, with because like I said, the conversations about the basement room or whatever. And the the way he genuinely looks hurt when Dickie is laying into him on the boat. I wonder if they're meant to be, if that's meant to kind of imbue us with a bit of that empathy, and so it does feel more tragic. But it's funny, it doesn't for me. It
doesn't for me either.
I feel as a movie,
I did get that.
Yeah,
especially when he was on the boat. Yeah.
I actually like, and I don't think that's a problem with the movie at all. I actually think this movie is a really, really incredibly interesting and just fascinating look at like a sociopath. Like, and
100%.
And so when I see these moments, like, you know, even the conversation when he's on the boat and Gwyneth Paltrow talks about how Dickie, he will shine a light on you and you'll feel great, but he's the kind of guy that he's, you know, it's fair weather friends kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, absolutely.
When I see stuff like that, it doesn't make me go, "Oh, poor Tom Ripley." It makes me go, "Yeah, right. This is like fuel for his illness. This is the stuff
him
that
taking on. Yeah,
this is the stuff that will feed him and will give him almost justification for being the character that he is." And so I find that really fascinating. I don't feel like it's
like
a tragic story.
Like him writing. Yeah, it's like him writing letters with Dickie. Like he was taking note of the fact that he's used a typewriter all the time, the fact that he can't spell, and getting him to finally sign his name so that he can copy it. All of that was just building up his knowledge of who he's going to become.
And well, he can't
take over
even if he does love him, which we can assume that yes, that is genuinely there. He can't stop doing the other things that he does. He can't stop building up his arsenal of tricks and the tools that he requires in order to better his own life. So, you know, it all, like, those things are, like, existing independently. It's like, yes, okay, so, yeah, he's really fucked up and he'll kill a dude, you know, if it comes to it. That's separate from him being in love with Dickie or, you know, being infatuated with Dickie, being in love with... What's his name? I keep wanting to say Peter Schmidt for some reason from Family Guy.
Peter Smith.
Smith Kingsley.
Peter Smith Kingsley.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they can exist independently, I feel.
Yeah. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that Dickie... I feel there were scenes where Dickie might have seen himself with Tom. 2 scenes. One, the bath scene, which was very, you know, very homoerotic. You know, there was moments there where I was like, oh shit, Jude's gonna, this is gonna happen.
Turn up the heat. Turn down the heat.
I know. Turn down that heat. But and what was the other scene? It was the scene. It was the scene at the jazz club.
That scene is fantastic.
That scene is amazing, and it really makes me want to go out. But also in that scene, I could see he was being more of a friend to Tom that maybe Dickie hasn't had before. You know, so maybe there was something a little more there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm with you. I get what you're saying, and I think it's definitely a moment of contention because I can see it both ways, but I don't necessarily have an opinion that I stand behind because I also think Dickie is a piece of shit. And so I find it really hard to see past that and go, okay, so was that a moment where he was like, maybe I am feeling a little bit of something? And look, for you know, we don't have a huge amount of history on Dickie. We find out some stuff later on in the movie which kind of reflects back on him as just to illustrate just how much of like a prick he was, and just how kind of similar to Tom he was, and like whereas Dickie is Tom up to a certain point, where Tom Ripley will go the next step where Dickie wouldn't go. But they're both fucking awful human beings because their own self-worth is more important to them than anything else.
Right.
So when I see that scene and I'm kind of like, okay, was he just kind of allowing Tom to maybe believe that there would be a possibility there because if he didn't, he's worried the money's going to dry up? Or is it a genuine kind of confliction there? And I can't come down on it either way, I don't think.
Okay. I like it.
I'm leaning towards him trying to manipulate Tom into staying. Because because even he says no. Well, like he doesn't say no. So it's all obviously very it's a very what's the word shadowed conversation.
Sure.
Like they're getting can I get in the tub, all that kind of stuff. It's it's basically asking the question without asking the question. And Jude Law, Dickie manages, Dickie kind of shoots it down, yet still gets out of the tub in a way that's like, hey, look at my dick. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
If you want to get in the tub, get in the tub. And he looks back to make sure you better be watching this.
Yeah. You look at my hot ass.
Oh, you are watching. Exactly. So there is that there as well. That's why I thought that.
Yeah, but that, I don't know, because that's what I can't decide whether or not that's legitimate or him just trying to be like, look what you're not going to get, and keep giving me $1,000 from my dad, by the way.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, on the boat when he confronts him and says, you're a leech and all that stuff, you're boring and all that, I think he's honest there. I think that is what he thinks. He's not just saying things to kind of pass it up and go, dude, fuck off.
The thing about that, he's also, at that point, though, he's seen a lot more of Tom that has put him off, like him wearing his clothes and kind of and playing it up into the mirror. Those kind of awkward conversations that he's had, the way he got like super jealous when Philip Seymour Hoffman turned up. He's been kind of confronting about his relationship with Madge. Is it Madge?
Madge.
Is that Gwyneth Paltrow's character's name? Is it Marge or Madge?
Meredith.
No, that's Kate Blanchett.
Gwyneth is Marge.
Marge?
Marge.
Yeah.
Marge Sherwood.
So he's kind of he's confronted him about it and been like, you don't love her, and and even the one thing that I reckon is the real stickler for him as well was the I won't tell anyone about the affair you've had conversation.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where someone said, it might be a TV show, but it's definitely something I've seen a lot of times, where someone goes, I won't tell about the thing. God, what is that movie?
Yeah, I've lied about this thing, but I also know about something else. It happens in a lot of movies, doesn't it?
There's one in particular that I'm thinking of, and a character loses their shit because another character says, I won't. It's something like they say, it will implement me as well, and so I can't say anything. It's a Shawshank. Okay. Shawshank. God, I got there. Towards the end of Shawshank, when Andy's talking to the warden, and he says, "If I was to get out of here, I wouldn't tell anybody about any of the book, cooking the books."
That's right.
And the warden cracks it.
Yeah. The brig front.
Yeah, that feels like a really similar conversation to me, except Dickie just doesn't let it out. That's the moment where inside he goes, "Oh, I've got to get rid of this guy."
Yeah, right.
It's a very interesting movie. I liked this movie a lot.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. When because this was my first watch, and to be honest, I still don't know. I'm kind of still on the fence. What is the name of the Italian girl? Silvana?
It was something
Silvana
like that.
that he's having the affair with. When she rocks up in the water, my immediate thought was that Tom killed her, and I'm still not convinced that she suicided.
Oh, interesting.
She was very upset. Do you know what I mean? She was very upset by their relationship, all of that stuff. But I don't see. There's not enough evidence for me to see that she committed suicide.
That's really interesting. I didn't consider that at all, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, especially being pregnant. Sorry, no, you don't just if she was pregnant.
Well, the movie is trying to lead us to believe that it was because Dickie wasn't willing to have a discussion go any further. But you're right. Yeah. There's no reason why it wouldn't have been.
Exactly. I think it's Tom. I thought it was Tom stirring things up. I thought it was Tom going, well, I can't juggle her and Gwyneth's character at the same time. I need to be a part of this somehow. How do I get rid of one of them?
Yeah. I like that.
When he finds out that she's pregnant from Dickie, it's a big surprise for him as well. Yeah. I liked that Freddie and Marge knew. I liked that. I think Freddie knew way. I think he was clued on to Tom's shtick from the start.
How's the peeping, Tom? How's the peeping,
Tom?
How's the peeping, Tom? Philip Seymour Hoffman is incredible in this film.
I love him.
I really enjoy him, but there are times when he goes I just am like, yeah, that's a bit much.
Really?
Yeah.
The only time that I haven't liked him was the one he won the award for, Capote. I thought his Capote was boring.
I didn't like him in Capote. I just, I
loved him and everything else.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying I've ever hated him. There are just times when I'm just like, he's one of those actors where it's just like there is so much acting going on. That sometimes I feel a little bit of a barrier sometimes with him, where I'm just like I see a performance less than a character.
Sure.
Only like occasionally, in this though I'm really, really digging him in it, because he is such and this movie is full of terrible human beings, which is what makes it such an interesting movie, I think. And he is just another example of it. He's an awful human being, and he's so but in such an obvious way though. Like, whereas I think Dickie and Tom hide their awfulness. What's his name again? What's the character name?
Freddie.
Freddie just lets it all out. Like, he's just like obnoxious.
Freddie lets it on his side.
He loves being a piece of shit. Doesn't give two shits about anything. I love when he's just sitting there with that gorgeous piano, and Tom tells him it's new, and he just keeps hammering away on it. Like, I don't give two shits about you.
That was the best scene. I think that was my favourite scene. Only for Matt Damon's face. The face that he was sitting with. The fact that Philip Seymour Hoffman's character Freddie has touched the statue. Yeah. Then he's laid his jacket in the piano, and then just comes up and just keeps hitting the keys. And I'm like, look at his face. He is wanting to rip his head off.
Well, that is, that's a great scene, because it's two people that completely understand the other person at that point. They know exactly what's going on, but neither of them is going to come out and straight away and admit it, because they know that it's dangerous to do that. Yet, so it's two people. Freddie knows, at least heavily suspects at that point. And Tom knows that that's what he's doing, but they're both kind of just playing off against each other in that way, where it's like neither one of them is able to go, all right, let's cut the shit. You know, this is where it's at. And so it's such a play between them. It's
High
so
tension,
great.
Man.
Yeah, I love it.
So good.
Great scene.
High tension.
What else? Yeah, what did you think of we haven't really mentioned much about, but I think they're both really, really great in this, and that's Gwyneth Paltrow and Cate Blanchett.
I think they're both sing. I think that this is the first time now. I don't know. I'm trying to find if there's something else. There is, but it never, because obviously Cate Blanchett is older than us, Tyson.
Not by much though, Nick. I don't think.
Not by much. No, not at all. But she's never had a role or something that was close to her being a what is it? A sex symbol or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's never been just, she's not the one to look for acting roles where she's the what's the word I'm looking for?
An object of affection,
or object of affection, or something like that. Whereas in this movie, there was a couple of scenes in there that I was like, Cate Blanchett, hello, where the fuck? What is this? What's going on? I was really, really threw me. It was really nice.
I think she's wonderful in this movie. What's that? She's like. I think her character is awful, right? Which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's she plays it in such a completely unaware way. She's got no idea how privileged and vapid and awful she is. Just plays it so innocently and is wonderful at it, because you actually do sympathize for her.
100%.
Yeah, and that's hard to do, because there are she has got some ripper lines where you're just like, I just can't, I couldn't be around you for more than 2 minutes. Like the one about the money. What is it? I can only be around people who know how disgusting it is to have this much money, or hate having as much money as they have.
But the other people who are like that are people who have that money.
Exactly, and it's such a tone-deaf statement to say. But for some reason, you just kind of you're endeared to her through it somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is amazing, I think.
Holding tons of her bags. I actually preferred her character, though, to Gwenny's character. I don't know. I don't know. There was something more. I wanted something more from Gwyneth Paltrow's character. She was good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And she, I just think, I don't know, there could have been something written more for her to do something a bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. I think she's kind of...
Or maybe it wasn't, or maybe it was that she just wasn't a strong character. She's not a strong female character.
I think, I don't think she's a strong character at all. I think that's I think she does have certain amounts of agency, she's willing to, she completely understands what Dickie is up to and all that, but she makes the choice to stick around with him, despite him, knowing that he's not faithful to her. He can be flippant and very, can disappear for long stretches of time. She's willing to accept all that because she's in love with him, things like that. But I think it's not until late in the movie that she really kind of steps up for me, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's by design. I think that we're not meant to assume. Look, and this movie does have a lot to say, I think, about how because this movie is full of dudes basically shrugging off females and saying they're hysterical.
Yeah,
and so I think it's by design that she's the one that knows exactly what's happened and has figured it out.
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
Anybody else,
because none of the males are gonna take her seriously at all.
No.
And that's what, when she starts hitting him on the pier and pulled into the boat by Dickie's dad.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she knows all. She knows absolutely everything, and no one's gonna listen to her ever. You know what I mean? It could even get to a point where I kind of wanted. It had changed the movie completely if he did do this, but I kind of wanted Tom to maybe give a little wink, just a bit of a yeah, I got you.
Just
I know what I'm doing, and fuck yeah, I did kill it.
And look, he probably could have, because no one would believe her anyway, and that's
absolutely. But that changes the movie dramatically.
Yeah.
If he does that, it then turns him into a complete psychopath, and he is knowing what he's doing. So I don't know. It was the fact that she was a little bit too much of a damsel in distress. Everything went wrong for Gwyneth's character, and I wanted something. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel like I know where you're coming from. I feel like it is by design, and having said that I love the scene where she confronts him about the rings. I just love it.
The rings, yeah. It was a great scene.
It's so
it was really good. I was fucking petrified for him. I was so petrified.
Exactly. And I don't think there's any other reaction for her to have. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, she can't be more than that. Because then because that's the situation she's in. And she does try. She tries to kind of. She gives Dickie's dad attitude when he's like, oh, why don't we have a meeting by ourselves? And she's like, what the fuck? Why can't I be there?
Yeah, let's have it here. Why can't I be here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think she is as strong as she is allowed to be in that time. I think the surroundings won't let her be any more than what she is.
No. Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, and
time won't let her.
Yeah. And I really like her performance as well. I think
oh yeah.
I don't really rate Gwyneth Paltrow in a lot of stuff.
More.
She's one of those. Well,
you don't rate Gwenny?
I love her in the Iron Man movies. I love her Pepper Potts. But,
hey man, Pepper Potts is badass. No man, Royal Tenenbaums. That's the first thing I go to.
Oh, she's pretty great in that. You're right.
She's really good in that. She's really good in that. The other one, she's not my favorite movie of all time. She's good in Seven, but you don't get a lot of her.
No, I mean that's not really a measure of her talent. I don't think.
I haven't seen the hot property Contagion that everyone's downed.
I'm not going to be watching that anytime soon. No way.
No.
Keeping a lid on that shit.
And I think that's it. Royal Tenenbaums. It's definitely the one I go to see.
Yeah, you're right. She's pretty nice in that. I think it's just because when I think of the obvious stuff like the sliding doors and Shakespeare in Love.
I remember Sliding Doors being good. Sliding Doors was really good, wasn't it?
God, I don't know. Who knows?
Jesus.
I feel like that was on television every second week in 2001.
Watch it. It really was.
but I'll never need to watch that movie again. I
can't remember Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. I can't remember whether she was good in that.
No, I don't think anyone was good in that. Not a soul was good in that movie.
You don't know that. It could have been good.
I've definitely tried to watch that movie, and I do not enjoy it.
Have you?
Yeah. It's hard work.
I'm going to watch it.
Maybe I'll go back to it now. Maybe
number 150, Tyson.
Yeah, you reckon Sky Captain?
Episode 150?
Well, because there's such a high demand for that. It's a real cult favourite. Although, having said that, it could be really interesting to watch that like in a double feature with like Rocketeer or something, and just kind of just eat up that old serial
Rocketeer,
style action adventure movie.
Yeah.
I haven't even opened my notebook to look at my notes, Nick.
Oh well, I've got a fair amount of notes, but the thing is, while we've just been talking, Tyson, about the movie that is The Talented Mr. Ripley,
yes,
I've talked about all my notes without looking at
them. It's all just come up in passing anyway.
It's all just come up in conversation, yeah.
I did want to mention, so this movie, I feel like, so this was Minghella's follow-up to English Patient, I think. I don't know if there was anything in between it. I don't think there was.
No, there wasn't. I looked him up after. There wasn't. I don't think.
And so I feel like this movie is kind of forgotten about a little bit because it's not the, it didn't get 12 Oscar nominations and win 6, you know what 12. I mean? I think it's, because what did it got like 5 nominations, I think?
This one?
Yeah.
Ripley?
Yeah, but nothing like I don't think it did as well as people were kind of expecting. You got Minghella coming off English Patient. 5. You've got a really well respected novel. You got this hot cast. They are all coming like this is they're all like the hottest things in the biz at this moment.
Yeah,
and I think I've got a feeling that it was just a bit of a disappointment.
Right? Really?
So it was nominated for supporting role, Jude Law, which I got to be honest, Jude Law is not my favourite performance in this movie.
I love Jude Law. I loved him in this. I really do. I'll take any Jude Law though.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his work.
I haven't seen Cold Mountain. Have you seen Cold Mountain?
No, I have not.
No, okay.
It was nominated for Best Screenplay, which I'm not sure I agree with either. Which is interesting because if I had to pick anything, I would say some of the dialogue is real hokey. Like,
really,
some of it to me is like sledgehammer style symbolism.
Really,
some of the dialogue in this.
Oh, symbolism.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. Yes, it was laying it on a tad thick.
Yeah, the art. I would definitely think art decoration for sure, costume design for sure, and original score. I will also disagree with because I think the original score moments are not that great. It's the jazz and opera stuff that makes the music soundtrack really great in this. The original score stuff from a composer I quite like, Gabriel Yared. It's not. I thought was not that great.
Okay,
so that's interesting.
Mm.
I would have probably thought there were other. I actually think it's directed better than it's written. I think the direction is really fucking.
The direction is quite good,
solid.
Yeah,
and the cinematography as well. I think
cinematography is really good as well. Yeah,
that's the stuff that I think is better than it's funny.
Rate that better than the screenplay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That scene on the boat. That is shot very, very well.
Oh my god! So good.
No wonder it stuck in your mind, Tyson. Like it. Not only was it shot well, but the tension in it was so intense, especially because you didn't see. There was very few times you didn't see what was happening. Mm. You saw a glimpse. You saw some things, obviously, but you don't see what's actually happening. You don't see him.
There's something really off-putting about the way Jude Law looks after being hit in the head with the oar. Like it's taken some of his hair off.
Paralysed his face.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's paralysed his face. Yeah, it looks intense. It looks very intense.
It actually, like, as far as like a wound goes in movies, it looks It looks the closest. Like, it looks so realistic because it kind of it's that kind of things where people get head wounds in movies and you don't see. Like the weird coldness that like the paleness that their face takes when they feel sick, because when have you ever hurt yourself really bad and the blood just runs out of your face because of the shock?
Yeah, Absolutely.
Like this, you saw this, like the color just drained from his face and there was just a wound and then you could see him weirdly kind of trying to stop the bleeding, but it was just pissing out. And you were like, oh, this feels like I'm watching like a documentary on someone getting hit in the head with an oar. The documentary.
Yeah, it was very, very realistic. It was very, very realistic.
Yeah. Oh, and
it wasn't like a movie. It wasn't like a movie. It wasn't your typical movie wound.
It was not movie death.
Where it was like, oh, I'm bleeding from the head, but my hair is covering it up. No. Because the gash was in his cheekbone.
Oh, rough. That has sat with me for with me for years, and it will sit with me again. There's just something really uncomfortable about that scene.
But not only that, like the fact that he kills him while telling him to stop, like, please stop, I don't want to do this. And you can hear in his voice that he doesn't want to do what he's doing, but he keeps doing it. And then the next scene is so, oh my God, so haunting, where it's just the boat and he's cuddling up next to him, and there's a little bit of blood where you can see either here and there, and then when the boat moves, you see how much blood is in the boat.
Yeah, they're just swimming in it by the end.
Yeah, exactly, and you're like, Jesus Christ, that is a little intense there.
Yeah. For sure. Props to Matt Damon for his singing voice. He sounds great when he's singing Chet Baker.
Not bad.
Actually, like, it's a really great like for a character that's meant to be good at impersonating voices. I actually thought that it was a trick. Because,
oh, really?
I was watching it through headphones at the very start, and the scene where Dickie's dad is talking about, oh, he's a nice boy, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
it sounded weird. Like it didn't quite match up, like the sound and the voice, and it was mixed with. Exactly. I thought it was weird. And I'd forgotten that he could imitate voices. So later in the movie where he goes to do the voice, I think it's just ADR. I think they've gotten that actor to do the dialogue again. And so, but having said that, I
think that's what it was.
I can't be certain, because then I found out that it's actually his singing voice, and he sounds exactly like Chet Baker. Like, it's unbelievable. He gets even the nuances of the way he kind of the way he decays his long notes and stuff. Like, it's really quite incredible.
It was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Lovely stuff.
I was very impressed. I didn't realize that was his, and I read that was Matt Damon singing. I was like, fuck, wow, that was actually really good then.
Yeah,
like,
very,
it's
very
so funny how that changes your mind, because when you're watching it, you're like, that's a really beautiful song, and that's amazing. The other reason I listen to Chet Baker quite a bit, because that's what Clark Kingsley eats to. He eats dinner to Chet Baker, and when it's lovely. Right. We have our jazz at dinner.
That's a great choice.
Yeah. But when that came up, I was like, oh. And so when watching it and then reading back that he sang that, I was like, oh wow, shit, that was actually quite good then.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but I'd put it above Ethan Hawke's attempt in.
Oh, really?
Not as like a performance,
but that was a different.
The voice. The voice comparison.
I think there's a little bit of difference there. There's a difference, whereas I don't think Matt Damon is trying to be Chet. I think he's just singing.
Oh, yeah, right.
I don't think the character is trying to be Chet Baker. But Ethan Hawke, I think, is bringing his own version, because he's playing Chet.
Okay, fair enough. I see where you're coming from.
You know what I mean? A little bit of difference there.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, it's a bit hard. Because I like them. I like them both, to be honest.
Oh, look, I love what Ethan Hawke does in that movie, for sure. But just on pure like what sounds more like Chet, I think what Matt Damon does in that is a bit closer.
Apart from all the killing and lying, this is a nice movie to watch. Everyone would love to just.
It's very pretty, isn't it?
Wine and cheese in 50s Italy, and just scooters and neckerchiefs and boating and wine and
it's the life,
jazz,
isn't it?
And then scotch and then scars and Jesus, it's really lovely.
Well, and I think it's. I don't feel like that's in any way accidental. Is that they're trying to make it so that we want what Dickie wants. What Tom wants, and we're kind of seeing it through Tom's eyes as this unbelievably glamorous lifestyle. And look, it does seem that way. At the same time, though, like, there are some. It would be good for a holiday. Is basically what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Here's a question. There's no. You don't sympathize. I was asking. I touched on it before. You don't sympathize with anyone in this movie, do you? Apart from Meredith and Peter Smith,
Peter and Marge, I think are the.
But that. Oh, you sympathize with Marge?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yeah, very much.
Oh no, you do. Yeah, you do.
I don't think we do with Meredith. I don't think I think Meredith is so. I think Meredith is like the MacGuffin of this movie almost. Like it's Deuce X Meredith in this movie, and that's kind of what she's there to do. Like she's just there to be the one that when things are you think things are going all right. Fuck Meredith. I forgot about Meredith again.
Meredith, where the fuck have you been? Yeah, good point.
I kind of love that she does that actually because it's so like she just stands on the other side of a window and she just like waves and she's like, "Oh, hello, Dickie." Yeah, and every time you just like exactly, you just see his shoulders like slump and that moment of like, fuck.
Yeah, and has to look around like, who knows? Does anyone know Dickie? Does anyone know this woman? Does anyone
exactly.
No?
So she's so it's such a great like. The purpose and then the responsibility of that character is so great in the screenplay, I think, because it's just there. It's there just to be like, guess what? You didn't get everything, Tom. There's still one loose end that you keep forgetting about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the only other thing is I was like listening to some stuff and reading some stuff about the kind of the like the in the closet symbolism, which I kind of missed. Did you catch any of that on your way through?
In the closet symbolism.
So the like, I mean, obviously it's a very repressed time and things are you know, like nobody's you know, in a different era, Tom would be an out and proud.
Yeah,
but in this environment, it's very much you know, unspoken and you know, just whispered behind corridors. And there's I didn't even realize, but the first and last shots of the film are shot from inside a closet. Did you see that?
Oh wow, no.
And which I wasn't. Didn't even really cross my mind.
I didn't realize. No.
And kind of made me reflect back a little bit more on how much of this movie is kind of. Not only is it dealing with like the stuff about being a sociopath and like that kind of victimizing of class and classism, I guess. But yeah, it's actually got a lot going on about, you know, like you know,
trying to be an out and proud homosexual.
Yeah. Which is
I didn't think of it like that. It'd be cool to go back and watch it now to kind of have that in the kind of forefront of thinking of while watching the movie, because that's the thing. Now that I've seen it, maybe I don't know. Maybe I would watch this again, just to.
I found it. Yeah, like I said, I found it really enjoyable to watch it a second time because because knowing where it goes, it's really quite interesting to watch some of those that opening 45 minutes or so. With that knowledge, so I'd definitely recommend it. Is it weird though? Like, there were a couple of. Letterboxd reviews that I read where people are kind of saying that it's really sus because it's like you get so little representation of homosexual characters on screen, and in this movie he's a psycho killer. Like,
because I don't think the two are related, if that's what they're saying.
Well, I think it's more a representation thing. Like, you know, it's how often is a protagonist in the movie, like, because he is the protagonist. How often are the protagonists? Do we get homosexual characters as protagonists? And we get one, and he's a sociopath. You know what I mean?
It's the 50s. Like it's I see what they're saying, but
like it's kind of it's villainizing, if that's a word.
It is.
You know, it's like the you know, the mustache twirling kind of effeminate villain. You know, that kind of style. It's, you know, it's been a thing in the past where the trope is that the effeminate man is the kind of the bastard, you know, like, and that's they played it that way quite a lot, and now, you know, we're still kind of doing it, I guess.
yeah, I guess, but it was, what was it? 99.
Yeah,
let's, you know, we've moved on.
Yeah, it was just I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. It was just something that I saw some reviews of, and it made me kind of go, yeah, I didn't really think of it that way, and of course I wouldn't, because that's not I don't identify it. So but it's one of those things you just kind of go, yeah, God, I suppose if you think of it from that angle, it is a bit shitty, I guess.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Do you? When I finished this movie, I was like, Tom Ripley. Hang on a minute, Ripley's Game. Hang on a minute, this thing has sequels.
Yeah.
And then I went down the belt. There's a few sequels.
There are.
I was like, holy shit!
I only knew of the one. I knew of Ripley's Game with John Malkovich, but there's one with like Barry Pepper in it or something. I saw.
Yeah, and he plays him. Yeah.
And
oh my God,
that movie.
Ripley.
No one gave two shits about that movie. When did that come out?
2005.
Nobody.
So that was called Ripley Underground. No one saw that.
Hey, so that was the year after Ripley's Game?
So Ripley's Game was 2002.
2002, wow.
2002, where Tom Ripley was played by John Malkovich.
Yeah, I really want to see that.
And that has a few people in it.
And a pretty good pedigree as well, I think. I think it's a good director.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I really want to see that.
Whereas Ripley Underground, 2005, Tom Ripley is played by Barry Pepper, who love Barry Pepper, by the way.
He's fine.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of different people in here. Roger Spottiswoode of the 6 Day fame.
Oh, Roger Spottiswoode. He's Australian, isn't he?
Is he? No, born in Canada.
Okay. Who am I thinking of? I might be thinking of the movie Spotswood, which I think is in Australia, is it?
That is in Australia, yes. So, yeah, who knew The Talented Mr. Ripley has sequels? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 books, so I think because of the success of this movie, they were like, hey, man, we've got some more material, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point.
I didn't even realise there was a movie made in the 60s about it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's already been a movie version of the book, I assume it's a very different experience because trying to deal with some of the actual stuff in this in the 60s would have been pretty hard, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find it on the Wikipedia, but I can only find it on the film. Let me find. There it is. I'm going to the based on it, and it'll tell me adaptations for film. Yeah, so it's a movie called Purple Noon from 1960.
Right. What was it called?
Purple Noon.
Purple Noon.
Loosely based on the novel. So
loosely.
Yeah. It appears to be an Italian film, which would make sense, or a French film maybe. Yeah, principally in French. Sequences in Italian. So yeah, that would be quite interesting. It seems like the plot is pretty much similar, but I think missing a lot of the sexuality, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I dare say that both the sequels would be. Yeah, I don't want to wreck The Talented Mr. Ripley. It was such a good movie. I'm not going to watch those.
Yeah,
to be honest.
No, fair enough. I might watch the sequel with John Malkovich, but that's about it.
Yeah, cool. Tell me how it goes. If it's good, I'll watch it.
Yeah, nice.
I like Barry Pepper, though. Really like Barry Pepper.
I could give or take Barry Pepper, to be honest.
Why doesn't Barry Pepper do more things? Really?
Because I think he's a Scientologist, isn't he?
Oh, Barry Pepper. You dickhead.
Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I was just assuming that he is because he was in that thing.
Well, now I need to find out whether he's a Scientologist.
He's good in some stuff. No, maybe he's not. Maybe I just made it up because I thought he was because he's in Battlefield Earth. He might not be.
Oh, no, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Not everyone in that movie could have been a Scientologist.
Yeah, a good chunk of
them,
though.
Good movie, though. Battlefield Earth. We could do that. 150. Battlefield Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. One day.
Kidding.
I wouldn't mind actually doing it. I think it'd be pretty fun to do Battlefield Earth. We should get onto it one day.
The worst of the worst. The worst of the worst movie, Tyson. Shit. What's the worst of the worst, do you think?
Well, you need a movie that's bad but not enjoyably bad. And for me, that's something like... what did I rate as like... I think the lowest rating I have on IMDb is for the movie Vampire Academy. I think that was the worst.
Oh, shit.
Which I thought would be fun. It's got like Zooey Dutch in it and was based on like some YA novels and was meant to be kind of like it was. I think Amy Heckerling might have directed it, to be honest.
Shit.
And it's absolute garbage.
Really?
Is it Amy Heckerling? Because that makes it sadder. Oh no, it's Mark Waters.
I need to find out. I need to find out my lowest.
So it was written by Daniel Waters, who directed Heathers. That's where I'm getting from. So I knew it had some kind of like teen movie clout to it.
Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 movies that I have rated the lowest.
Oh yes,
of the low.
Interesting.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Do you want the 5? Do you want them?
I'll take them.
Oh shit. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Zoolander 2.
Oh.
That was so shit.
Right.
The Predator, which I've talked about recently, that was just abysmal. I'd rather do anything else than watch The Predator again. To be honest, it's become a running joke in my house. My wife's like, what are we doing this weekend? I'm like, we are watching The Predator again. Jingle All the Way, Tyson, which we reviewed last year.
Yeah, that movie's pretty awful, isn't it?
It was garbage. It was full garbage.
It's real hard.
I feel I need to rewatch this again, but High Rise. Have you seen High Rise?
Oh, no, I haven't, but that seems like a pretty
2015.
harsh. That's harsh.
It seems harsh. I think just because I didn't know what it was going in.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend of mine, actually, Tyson, he's been on this show, Ben Lindhart, when we did Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. Of course. He rates it a 10.
Wow.
And I rated a 1.
Oh.
And we've had heated debates. And I'm like, man, it is not good. It is bad. And the last one, of course, is Pitch Perfect 3.
Oh.
Get ready.
Interesting choices. I like it.
Pitches back. Who
cares? Like, however many ways they can say pitch or like puns about pitches. Singing. Oh, God. So, Nick, that's going to wrap us.
The first one was so good.
Yeah, the first one is good.
That is going to wrap us, Tyson.
That was Talented Mr. Ripley. Seville, I hope you enjoyed our discussion. Thank you so much for requesting Talented Mr. Ripley. If you, as in you, Nicholas, no, not you.
Oh, yes. Hello.
If you would like to request something for us, you can email us. Nick, where would they do that?
Tyson, that would be at nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com.
That's it. You can send us a cheeky little email with your request and we'll totally do it.
We will.
Unless you request something real dumb, in which case we won't. But we've been pretty good, most of the time. We've never really had anything. We've had a couple that were just like, no, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
So but otherwise, we've been pretty good. Nick, should we move on to our next segment?
Let's do that.
Which is you're going to have to count us in because we're zooming again.
What did you watch this week?
Yeah. Very good.
I like it.
Do you want to go first, Nick? Did you actually watch something this week?
Oh, seriously. Like, I've been really slack. It's not. It's because, spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a massive fan of video games, and The Last of Us 2
of course,
is my jam. So that's all I've been doing.
How is it?
And it's a slow burn for me. I take my time with video games. I don't rush them. So it's Tyson, in a word, it's brutal. Have I cried already? Yes, I have.
All right.
Anyway,
Jesus.
Moving on. What did I watch this week? So I'm going to talk about 2 things actually. One, little Clark Kingsley finally got around to watching Mary Poppins because we're trying to push him towards different things, and my son, are you ready for this? Out of all the songs in Mary Poppins that we know and love, my son has attached himself and knows all the words to It's a Jolly Holiday with Mary. So he knows everything, all of it, and we sing it, and it's lovely. So yeah,
that sounds lovely.
I rewatched that. Yeah, it's lovely. Mary Poppins, I have always rated very highly. I remember, I think I was about 26 or 25, and I had friends over and they left, and someone put it on.
Right.
And I watched it, and it's layered. It's got jokes for adults. The one-liners are amazing. The songs are catchy. That's just the last bit. Like, even if without everything else, the songs will draw you in, as well as the dancing. It's dark in some moments. In some moments, because it is, it was, what was it, 64 that Poppins came out? I think it was 64. Let me check.
Sounds about right.
It is quite dark in some moments still.
Yeah.
Yeah, 64. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I love it. And after watching, what is it? What is the Mary Poppins teaching? What was it called?
Saving Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks, thank you. After watching that and then rewatching Mary Poppins again, you can kind of see where the writer is coming from. And it is, Mary Poppins isn't there to save the children or look after the children or anything. She's there to kind of bring the family back together and to save Mr. Banks from going down the dark tunnel of the corporate world or whatever the fuck you want to look at it.
The man.
Like it's such a lovely, lovely story, and I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. The other thing I watched was what am I watching? Oh shit! I finally turned on and have watched the first season of Agent Carter.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I watched the first season of that when it came out. I think
when it came out. Yeah,
I loved
so
Agent
I just
Carter.
started season 2. Yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe that they've just passed on this gem.
Yeah.
Seriously, I love the fact that it's like a period superhero. Like it's so cool, and yeah, I'm all over it, man. It's fucking.
It was a
rad.
lot
really
of fun. I remember liking it a lot more than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. At that time.
Yeah,
and because it's not really, it doesn't belong in the. Yeah, it's aside from the Daredevils and the Punishers and stuff that's on Netflix. It just feels. Yeah. It feels just a little bit more
separate.
It feels closer related to the movies as well. Obviously,
absolutely,
by design, but there's something. Yeah, you feel like you are kind of watching like a spin-off from the films as opposed to an original series that just happens to be in the same universe.
Absolutely, and you can tell that they have quite a bit of budget on their hands.
The show
so they get
great.
they get to play a little bit, which is really good. So yeah, I agree. Like it's totally spot on, and I feel like a watch of Phase 1, 2, and 3 is coming. I don't know why. Maybe.
No, look, I haven't. It's been a while for me since I've gone back and watched a few of those. I'd like to watch some of them again.
Maybe just all the Avengers.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll just watch Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity, and Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
No, I can't do it. I have to watch them all.
It kind of happens that way, doesn't it? You kind of go, but then I'll end up watching this and watching this. There's a few that I know I haven't seen for a while and I would like to watch again. Definitely the first Thor. It's been a while since I've watched that.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Definitely. And like...
I need to watch more of Phase 3. I need to watch Black Panther again. I want to watch that.
Black Panther again, absolutely.
Homecoming.
And you're right there. Yeah, a few of those ones. So that'll be fun to revisit for sure.
Yeah.
Very good.
But yeah, Agent Carter, Tyson. What did you watch this week?
I'll just talk about one thing quickly. I watched Love and Mercy, the Brian Wilson movie. The movie about Brian Wilson, starring Paul Dano as like the younger Brian Wilson, and then John Cusack as the older Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was really interesting. I don't know if I loved it. I'm not even sure I could comfortably and confidently call it a good film.
Sure.
But it was really interesting, and more than anything, kind of gave you a really interesting insight into the songwriting process and the relationships in the band.
Sure.
And also the very not unique, but the very kind of debilitating mental struggles that he went through. Because it was.
Is it a lot on the band, or is it more to do with him?
Well, no, because it's more to do with him, but it's split pretty much down the middle in halves. We cut back and forth, but as far as runtime concerned, I reckon they're about even. Where you've got the recording and releasing of Pet Sounds, and then you've also got not current day, but I want to say mid-90s.
Okay,
I think. Brian Wilson. I feel like maybe mid-early 90s. I'm not... Or maybe late 80s. I can't remember exactly. And so, yeah, they kind of cut back and forth. And so you got Paul Dano playing him in the Pet Sounds days, where you can see, you can see the beginnings of what's going to take over him, but you see this kind of the creativity coming through and the way that he kind of arranges wants to try all these really interesting things in the studio that the rest of the band maybe aren't 100% on board for. And then you've got this other stuff with John Cusack where he's kind of older and really kind of messed up by what's happened to him mentally and trying to find a way to get back on his, like, just kind of get back into life in some way. And yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's not a happy movie at all. There is kind of a happy ending, which is nice, but it's a pretty depressing movie. Really nice, but like above all else, really nice performances from Paul Dano and John Cusack. I think that's kind of the standout thing to watch in it, and why you'd go back to it if you did. They both do really nice work, and there's some every now and then there's some really nice directorial touches, but generally it's mostly about those two doing really great work. Nice. So it's a recommend, but it's a lukewarm recommend.
So lukewarm.
Yeah.
Is it for Beach Boy fans?
They might get more out of it. Yeah. But you know, I mean, why wouldn't you be a Beach Boys fan though? They're the best.
Yeah, right. I know. Totally. Paul Dano scares the shit out of my wife, by the way.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious, and I think he's going to make a really good Riddler.
I agree. I think he's pretty great in everything, really. He knows.
You can't. Yeah, he does. He really does.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nick, I reckon that's going to wrap us up, man.
That was nice, man.
Why don't you tell the people at home where they can find our show?
Yeah, thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I really enjoyed that episode. And our last episode, too. What did we talk about? Oh, Predator. Of
course.
My brother was all over that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us. If you have liked what you've listened to, please just hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 seconds. No, don't take this off. Oh, you turned us off.
Wait, no, you got to stick around and find out what we're doing next week.
Exactly. You got to stick around.
So listen to all this boring shit for a second.
While you're doing that, and because you're at the red light, don't pick up your phone, but just, remember to hit the subscribe button later. Or you could just like us on all the social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those things, and we'll shoot you some stuff maybe, that's fun and movie related.
Hey, special shout out as well thanks to the people who actually did then go and comment on some YouTube videos. We've had a few comments, which has been really nice.
Oh, really?
After I made a fuss about it last week, where I was like, why doesn't anyone comment on our YouTube videos? So we've had a few, which is really cool. So thank you to those people that did comment.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to know what Tyson and myself rated the talented Mr. Ripley, you'll have to follow us on Letterboxd. So if you wish to download the Letterboxd app, it is free. But if you wish to follow Tyson is at TYS_videotape. And I am NIC_videotape.
That's it. Nick.
Tyson. What are we doing next week?
Well, so it's we usually save this one for Halloween, for our spookisodes. But we're just feeling we're feeling a little bit spooky. We want to kind of just get we
always do horror movies at Halloween.
I know.
Let's do something. What are we doing?
Well, we're going to do a segment that we don't get to do very often because it's sometimes a bit of a downer. But I think this one will be a good one, and that's our segment called "Everything Old Is New Again," where we take an original and then a remake, and we watch both of them and we have a chat about it. So you get 2 movies for the price of one.
2 movies for the price of one,
being 0 because it's free. So. I guess everything's for the price of one.
So we're looking at 1976 and 2006. Is that what we're doing?
Well, there's exactly 30 years between them.
Wow, that is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Let's do that.
So we're doing that.
Hopefully,
we haven't said what it is. We just said the years, Nick.
Oh, I have. Oh, right. Scratch that. We are doing The Omen, ladies and gentlemen.
So the original Omen, with directed by Richard Donner, starring Gregory Peck, I believe. And then the remake with Julia Stiles and Liev Schreiber, I think.
Directed by John Moore.
John Moore. He's no good.
Jesus. Oh,
Max Payne.
Fuck.
Is that him?
Oh, God. This is Max Payne, yeah. And Die Hard 5.
Oh, yeah. He's garbage. Although I've heard that remake is not bad.
This is going to be The Fog all over again.
No, nothing will be as bad as The Fog. Actually, going back to the previous conversation, I think The Fog might be one of my lowest rated on movies. I think I gave that a 2 out of 10, maybe. Ooh.
No, I think I gave that a 2. Didn't even get a 1. I think there was something in there that made me laugh or something, and I was like, you know what, that deserves a 2, that laugh.
I got some enjoyment out of it, so you get a 2.
Exactly.
That's going to be really fun, Nick. I'm looking forward to it. Until then, ladies and gentlemen.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Thanks so much for listening, and bye.
I'll see you next time, Nick.
Bye, Tom.
See you, bud.
See you, man. Bye.